David Collins.
30 minutes. Show with
David
Collins.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of David Collins' 30-minute half-hour show. I'm your host, David Collins, and we have a great episode planned for you today. A bit of a change of plans, unfortunately. Of course, we wanted to bring on, and we had teased this on the last episode, we planned to be at Carson Tuttle's home with, of course, friend of the show, Austin Ingels, our first two returning guests. That did not happen. Something happened with Carson. I'm not sure if we want to get into detail with that. Austin, would you like to elaborate? What happened, do you think?
He died. He's dead.
Well, he's certainly not dead to me, but we may reschedule that in the future. We wanted to have Austin Ingels back on the show as a bit of a going away episode before he goes to Austin, and we thought Carson Tuttle would be a great guest to have on. Apparently not so much, but we do have Dan McCullough joining us here. So, Dan McCullough, you've co-hosted before. Now, you've co-hosted before. I want you to feel as though you are just a guest on the show today. You know, co-hosting responsibilities. You can just hang out and enjoy being a good guest on the show today.
I think that's a great idea, David.
We got a lot to get into today. I'm really excited for our repeat guests today. It should be a great episode. Of course, before we start that, though, everybody's favorite color of the day. Today's color of the day, slate green. Now, we have a lot of storms in the area recently, often leaving the sky the ominous color of slate green. Ironically, I bet thunder to some people is like nails on a chalkboard. Made up of 101 red, 141 green, and 109 blue, today's color of the day, slate green.
I thought green was blue and yellow, David.
Well, slate green is a grayish green.
Okay, sure.
The scale he's using is specifically like a chromatic scale.
Right.
Red, green, and blue. Or what is it?
Red, green, and blue. A lot of people call it the RGB scale. Right. It's very common. That's how you measure colors, and we use that, of course, often in Color of the Day. Today's sponsor of the show, we have a very exciting sponsor today. They paid a lot of money to get this spot, so I want to give them a good read. Today's sponsor of the show, Tom Michelson for President 2024. Tom Michelson is an Iowa-born American citizen and veteran, well known for raising money for various local charities, including Puppy Jake Foundation. Most people these days are complaining that our candidates are too old. Well, at 36 years old, Tom Michelson has the potential to be our history's youngest president.
He just squeezed in, David.
Right, he's just on time, 36 years old. That's a good time. Hopefully he's healthy and everything. You know, we don't want to interrupt the read, though. He did ask us to do this verbatim. Not only that, Tom is currently on probation, giving him a healthy mix of empathy and experience on the growing issue of national crime concerns. Find out more by searching Tom Michelson 2024. Tom 2024, America needs him, and he needs a job. That was very interesting. Thank you, Tom Michelson for President 2024 for sponsoring the episode today. Well, today's guests are Austin Ingels and Dan McCullough, and we're going to get right into world news with David Collins. And we have two guests on the show today, so it's a little tough. I'm not sure who I'd ask, but when you guys think about world news this week, what are you thinking about? Of course, a lot in the news, and if we didn't have to postpone this episode by a day, I think we would have even missed a couple of these stories I want to talk about today. World news, anything? Earth Day just passed, April 22nd. Did you do anything for Earth Day?
I didn't. No, I didn't really do anything. We had some bad weather, more local news, but some tornadoes.
Well, it was national news. I think these tornadoes going by. Not exactly what I wanted to talk about right now. Earth Day, of course, though. we used to go out on the road, and when I worked for the radio station, do a lot of street interviews during Earth Day, and I really used to enjoy those. Maybe I'll have to bring that back next year. Now, I wanted to comment on the self-immolations. You see a lot of self-immolations. But I'm a little worried if I say the wrong thing, I'll be fired again.
Nice, David.
That was a good one,
yes.
Harvey Weinstein won his appeal in New York last week. Did you see this?
Did he? I did not see that.
Harvey Weinstein won his appeal in New York. It's a little confusing based on, it's a little, I don't want to get into the weeds on exactly how it happened, but apparently some of the jurors may have been influenced by something that's fairly unconstitutional. So he's won his appeal in New York. He will still be sentenced in California, though, since he lost a case there. Did you guys write any jokes? Now, Harvey Weinstein,
No, I don't. I don't have any Harvey Weinstein
right
jokes.
for comedy.
Right for him? Or right?
Oh,
You know, Weinstein, personally, I prefer a beer stein rather than a Weinstein.
Sure. Sure, David.
I'm sure these comedians are running wild here. It's good to hear he's back in the news, of course. Maybe not. Well, at least he'll still have to serve his time, though.
yeah.
To be honest, that was all a little bit confusing. So he's safe in New York, but California, he's still screwed, right? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. He's still going to have to go back to the West and serve his time. If you remember, initially, he was extradited to New York.
I didn't know that.
Well, it's a
I haven't
long,
been keeping up on Harvey.
harrowing
you could say,
story.
Dan.
Yeah, I'd love to see him on a work release program, getting back to into the movie business. As a victim of cancel culture myself, I think that would be good. You can keep him in the industry.
Right. You're comparing yourself to Harvey. That's good.
Well, I'm always thinking, it's a little strange that you could say, hey, why don't you go work as a garbage man? But oh no, not the job you were doing before. I think it's putting down garbage men.
Well, that's okay. That's a good point.
Yeah, I
Biden
can't
signed
argue that.
legislation Wednesday that could be used to ban TikTok in the U.S. And I wanted to ask if Carson Tuttle was on TikTok. I wanted to ask Carson Tuttle so many questions. I'm very disappointed. And, we've been talking about this the last couple of days. Jerry was very livid about it. He's calling me. It's 10 p.m. He's saying, David, it's 10 p.m. and now we have to make a change of plans. It's very uncomfortable, and apologies to Jerry, of course. TikTok. Are you guys on TikTok?
I am.
I don't make
Opponents of this TikTok bill say opponents of TikTok, I should say its ownership by Chinese company ByteDance gives Beijing a dangerous amount of influence over what narratives Americans see. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what they're referring to there. The only narrative I'm worried about reading on TikTok is Lolita.
What's that?
Well, there's a lot of children on TikTok, and it makes me a little uncomfortable. Lolita is an old 1960s book and movie. I feel like we've been talking about this TikTok ban every week.
Yeah, it seems like it's been going on
will
for
you
like a
hurry
year.
this up? TikTok.
That son of a gun.
They're always taking way too much time.
How about these Colombia protests? You following up on these protests that are for the Israel-Gaza situation? They're coming up and a lot of the time we want to avoid negativity on this show, and I didn't even want to bring it up. We've actually been avoiding this conversation, but with Carson Tuttle on the show, I thought it'd be interesting because he's a Christian man. He's somewhat religious, and he also is a teacher.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been uncomfortable at all.
So he would have had a lot to offer, I think, to that conversation about Israeli protests and being on a campus.
Oh, yeah, that would have been awesome.
I guess we'll just skip that story then. A little disappointed. Since these protests erupted, there have been newspaper and social media reports of the harassment of Jewish students, behavior including chants of "from the river to the sea," a slogan some find deeply offensive, interpreting as a call for annihilation of Israel. And one Jewish Yale student's allegation was that she was poked in the eye by a Palestinian flag.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it turns out this was a bit of an exaggeration. Some video came out, and boy, was she embarrassed.
You are an idiot!
But tensions are high there. Are you following all these campus stories?
I can't keep up, David. What about you, Dan?
No, I thought the protests you were talking about were like the Hollywood ones still.
I think the only winners in any of these protests there are just the people selling the flags.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
This White House Correspondents' Dinner just passed, and that's a story that we wouldn't have even gotten to talk to if we didn't get this pushed back an extra day there. And I didn't even watch too much, but I'm a big fan of comedy, of course. I watched the Colin Jost comedy, 20 minutes. There he roasts the president and roasts the media. He was very funny. I think they should start calling him Colin Jest.
Nice.
Did you guys
Or
watch
Colin,
that?
Colin jokes.
Colin Jokes. That
Yeah.
might sound a little too close to somebody else.
Who?
I don't know who.
Who, David?
Luckily, no celebrity deaths this week. We've had so many celebrity deaths. Did you have any deaths this week?
Did I have a death? No, I'm alive still, so I'm good.
Well, that's good. No celebrity deaths and nobody in your life. That's perfect. I think that's all there. Did you come up with any world news topics that you think we missed?
I didn't. I saved my call-in for another week that I'm not going to be on the show, right, David?
Right. Well, maybe we'll be able to do it live here. That would be exciting, when we get to those David Collins call-ins and emails. Today's guests are both great local comedians who have both appeared on the show before and also have performed all around Iowa and the Midwest. Working clubs including Octopus, Comedy Club, Joystick Comedy Arcade, Teehee's, Sanctuary Pub, The Speakeasy in Rock Island, Chicago's The Comedy Bar in Dubuque, the Lucky Cat Comedy Club also. They've both opened for hilarious comics, appeared on other great shows like Don't Tell Comedy, and shared a laugh with people from all over this great country. Unfortunately, I think some of these don't apply to you, Dan.
Yeah. I've never done Don't Tell.
These would have all applied to Carson, of course. Find them both on Instagram. You're on Instagram, Dan.
Yeah, at Dangle Squad.
Please welcome to the show Austin Ingels and Dan McCullough.
Thanks for having me again, David.
And thanks so much. We want to catch up on some of the things. I'm sure there's a lot that's, Austin Ingels, probably it's been over a year now. It's been well over a year. And Dan McCullough is a little sooner than that. It's probably right around a year also. We, of course, had Dan McCullough co-hosting on a few early episodes, and we liked that. We were thinking about getting a co-host involved, and we may even do that in the future.
That's exciting.
Now, a lot of people know this about me. I'm a big fan of game shows. Mm-hmm. And I thought we have two people on the show. How great if we could play a game that we never can play without somebody. So this isn't, of course, our first game, and we're going to get into that, maybe after we learn a little about what you guys have been up to. But I thought, how great. Are you familiar with the $100,000 pyramid? Mm-hmm. So instead of single words and you having to give 7 words in 30 seconds, we're going to give you 30 seconds to get one phrase across to Austin or Dan McCullough. Now, of course, this says Austin gives the clue, and this says Carson gives the clue. Where it says Carson gives the clue, Dan, that's going to be you giving the clue.
Placed him.
Okay.
And you make sure that you don't use any of the words on top here, and you're going to have to, in 30 seconds, convey the phrase. Who would like to go first? This is a $100,000 pyramid. Does this sound like a fun game?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Boy, what a great game. So I'm going to hand this to you here. Carson gives the clue. Make
That's
sure
you,
Austin
Dan.
doesn't see. You're going to flip this up, and that's going to be the phrase. So make sure Austin doesn't read
Maybe
that
I'll
there.
look the other way, David. I'll look that way.
He's going to have to guess. So give it a look. Get it in your head. Think, how am I going to be conveying this over to Austin Ingels? And when you're ready to start, you're going to make sure you use that word and just try to get it over. What I'm going to start with here, and I'm going to tell the audience, of course, we'll add this a little bit in post here, but I'll tell the audience the phrase is
lot lizards in Austin, Texas.
Okay. So, ladies of the night, trucker style.
Prostitute? Hooker?
Think specifically truckers.
Fuck.
What are they called? It's alliterative.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot lizard.
Yep. And then specifically where to where you're moving.
Austin,
So you got to say the whole
Texas.
phrase.
Lot lizard, Texas. Lot lizard in Texas.
Well, it was very close. I think we're going to have to give it to you. People are going to be emailing me. And if you would have been upset if we didn't give it to them there, make sure you email me, dc30minutehalfhour@gmail.com, because the answer was lot lizards in Austin, Texas.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you did say all the words, maybe not in order, but I think we're going to have to give it to you there.
Job well done.
Is that an
Thank you.
interesting game there?
That
I
is
thought
fun.
we
I
have
love
2
that.
people. We have
Love
one
that
more
game.
round here of, we're going to call it the $100,000 pyramid, but don't get your hopes up.
I really got excited.
This
could-
one says
could definitely use
Austin
that.
gives the clue. So we're going to hand this to you, and you're going to have to soak in at the top exactly what that is. Give it a few thoughts. How would I convey that to somebody? And you got a good lesson. Dan did a great job, so you have a little example of how you go about that.
Good Lord.
Whenever you're ready, let me know, and we'll go ahead and just start that timer. I'll start by giving it to the audience here.
Go ahead.
The phrase...
The Vatican Advanced Technology Telescope in Arizona.
Okay, Dan. Where do priests live?
Church.
Specifically, they have
Catholic Church?
They have their own
Sanctuary or
No, it's-
vestibule or
No, it's across the pond.
across the pond. Oh, the Vatican City.
Yep. Nope. Just what you
The
said.
Vatican?
Yep. We went from rock to cell phones. What is that?
Evolution. Shit.
that was 30 seconds. I almost thought,
God
for the sake
darn,
of
that's hard.
Kill Tony, maybe I'd give you a minute.
Right.
Because you're going to be going to Austin. Do you plan on performing at Kill Tony?
I'm going to sign up and hopefully get on, David.
Yeah, dude, look at that. We have that sound effect. Now, would you like to reveal what was the answer?
Jeez.
The Vatican Advanced Technology Telescope in Arizona.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's
an infrared
I almost
telescope.
can't even say all of that in 30 seconds, David.
Oh, well, you got it out pretty cleanly there. You must speak for a living.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't.
Sure.
Sorry, you're good at guessing. I'm bad at it.
No, that one was hard. So
it was.
advanced technology, I didn't know what the hell to do with
You know,
that.
I have some bad news here.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I had this backup here, and the backup has stopped working. I don't even know why I brought this.
What the hell?
April Fools! This was not even a laptop the whole time.
Oh, David. Oh,
It's another fake laptop.
Oh, my
You have no idea how many
God.
fake laptops I have.
You must have so many of them.
that is insane.
April Fool. You know, it's
pouring
April.
water
I
on
only
them?
get a couple more opportunities to get these April Fool's pranks. I really could see your faces. I think I got you.
Damn,
Yeah,
that
you
scared
did.
me.
I thought that was real.
Yeah, that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna stand up
Whew,
and
might
punch
have wet
us
my
or something.
pants a little bit, David.
Yeah.
All right, well, no time to calm down, of course. That sound means it's time for our first game. And like I said, you know, we plan on having Austin Ingels and Carson Tuttle on the show, so I thought why not give Austin Ingels one good game and Carson Tuttle a better game for him. But maybe the odds will just be in Austin Ingels' favor today, because this game is Sign the Joke. So we're going to read a joke from a famous comedian, and you guys are going to have to answer first or compete who said that joke. Are you guys ready to sign that joke?
Yes, David.
Perfect. Why don't we look at round one here? Do you remember this game?
I do.
It was a good game. Do you like this game?
This
We're
one's hard.
excited. We're going to be playing this game probably at Floodwater. We're going to go back to those street interviews at Floodwater that's coming up, the comedy festival in Iowa City, and do some of those on the street. I think we're going to be talking about that in a few moments
Yeah,
here.
a lot of good joke writers at Floodwater.
Round one.
Oh yeah.
You got to make your own little fun. That's how I see it. Go out, have a few drinks. You know what my drink is? Jack Daniels. That is a wild man drink. You should come with bail money, you know. That should come with bail money, you know what I'm saying? Because with Jack, you don't know where you're going to end, but you know you're going to get there without wearing any pants. That's the way it works. Sign that joke.
Like who told it, right?
Who wrote that joke?
Oh, shit. Oh, God.
I promise that, you know, we didn't pick anybody here that I believe used ghostwriters, so it should be somebody who wrote that joke, not just the person that
That feels like a
performed it.
Dan Soder joke.
Either of you
Yeah.
have any guesses. Now, it may be to your advantage there to not guess the same thing.
Or Ron White.
I was gonna guess Ron White too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Bernie Mac.
Unfortunately, you've ran out of time, and it was neither of those answers.
Who was it, David?
That was Dave Attell.
Shit.
1999 comedy special, Dave Attell.
Yeah.
You know, that's all right. We're just getting warmed up here. Boy, what a great joke. Why don't we look at round two? Round two. Now, he was hard to work for because he was cockeyed. That's right. Eyes went in every which way. And we called him Cockeyed Jr. And he was hard to work for because he would be like, hey, pick that up. And 4 or 5 bend down because you don't know who he's looking at. You know, he's looking all around. Who wrote that joke? Would you like to sign that joke?
Oh, that's another tough one.
Well, I'll give you a little clue here. Why don't we throw out a date? 1977.
Thank you, David.
Ooh.
Carlin?
Yeah, I like Carlin or Pryor. I guess.
Yeah.
Would you like to lock in an answer
I'm going to go
here?
with Carlin.
I think Carlin's a good answer.
You are both wrong. It was Richard Pryor
It was
Bitch, you were
on
right.
their
We should've went
NBC
with you,
comedy
buddy.
special.
Yeah.
You know, this is great. I'd say neither of you are really acting as crabs, so that's probably a positive thing too. You're saying, you know, we're going to go into the wrong answer together.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Round 3. Before we start the show, I know there's probably signs up saying no photos and things of that nature, and that's just because obviously we're taping this. And obviously when I do these shows, people can start taking photos, and there will be a lot of flashing and orange lights. It can be kind of distracting when I'm focusing on the performance. But what I've realized is people don't give a shit, and they take photos anyway, because there are some shitty people that come to these shows. Like, look how many people there are here. Some of you are shitty people. No question, if we met in any other context besides you paying me money to tell me jokes, I'm sure there are some of you that I would hate with a passion. No question about it, I really hate some of you a lot.
That's
Sign that joke.
That's either Tosh or Segura.
Oh, Tosh is good. Oh man, those are both really good.
I'm going with Tosh.
Yeah, Daniel Tosh.
Would you like to lock in those answers?
Or I'll say.
You'll
I'll
say
say
Segura?
Segura. Yeah.
That was Aziz Ansari.
Yeah, I'm not.
Aziz
I'm not
Ansari
familiar with him.
His 2012 Dangerously Delicious. We know somebody that's going to be disappointed that name's gone.
We sure are.
All right, and we're going to take our first break.
You're listening to
David Collins.
30 minutes.
Show with David Collins. Listen at work, at home, or on your device. Stream us now.
That's perfect, and we're back with Austin Ingels and Dan McCullough, and we want to learn more about, kind of catch up what's happened this last year as we've missed you.
David
Goodings.
Captivating developments.
But first, we want to jump into this next segment, DC's CDs, because I have a few things that I need to make sure everybody knows about. Catching up there, I think there was something that I may have even forgot about and that we touched on a moment ago. Oh no, there it is, interviews for Floodwater. I think Jerry does a great job on these notes. The second episode of our reality show has just been released, and we've got a positive comments on that, and I appreciate that. I hope everybody's checked that out, and if you haven't yet, it is up, our second episode of the reality show. Really looking forward to working with a few people on that third episode, though we don't want to give away any spoilers. I've recently, and I've told, I think the cat's a bit out of the bag with you two and some of the people I'm around, but I did want to say it publicly. I was hoping that it would come up more naturally, but we haven't seen it yet. I did enter into a contest last week, or a couple weeks ago now. I entered into the Rap Podcast National Correspondent Competition. And they have such a big operation there. I actually figured I'd get some sort of confirmation back. I followed up with different members of their team over email and over social medias. Can't get a response back, so hopefully I'm officially entered into that competition. But that's a competition where I'll be going on the street and doing correspondent work for that podcast, possibly, and that would be an interesting, I think I'd fit right in. I think I'd do well. What do you think about that?
It'd be interesting to see you in that line of work, David.
Do you follow the Rap Podcast? Oh, of course, I've done street interviews my entire career. I think that's what gives me a big advantage there. Do you follow the Rap Podcast?
I don't.
We've had guests from that show many times. I think it's a very popular show. Do you watch the Rap Podcast?
Not regularly, but I've been keeping up a bit with the guys that you've had on from there, because they're all entertaining.
Right, of course. Andy Malafarina, Andy Fiore, probably other Andys too.
Oh yeah,
a lot of Andys.
Lastly, of course, we touched on this here. We're planning on going again this year with audio, hopefully. We had a bit of an issue last year with our cameraman, but we're well past that. I don't hold a grudge. We are going to be interviewing Floodwater Comedy Festival comedians and audience members at that comedy festival. So that's really exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. I was actually offered a spot on the festival, but I chose not to. Comedian Karen Sanchez reached out and she said, hey, would you like to be on a show at Floodwater? I said, I think we're going to be doing those street interviews, and I'm also on a show one of those weekends already anyway.
You want to plug that show, David?
Well, it's May 17th. We've plugged it on the Instagram. You're doing a going away show of sorts, and I'm on it. And
not really that one for the going away, but...
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing a great show, staying here for another couple of weeks show, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be doing 10 or 15 minutes of comedy.
Sure.
And it should be a lot of fun.
Nice.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's one of the first...
on that.
All right.
Dope.
It's one of the first booked shows that I'm going to be performing at going into this summer, and we're really looking forward to it. Now, Austin...
Yes, David.
In 12 words or less, how would you describe this last year? Since you've been on the show, what have we missed? In 12 words or less.
Full of growth. And that can mean more than one thing.
Oh, well, that's great. We usually ask people don't do their material on the show.
That wasn't my material.
Dan McCullough, what's an 8-letter word that describes since you've been on the show?
8 letters. You get less.
Occupied, because my time has been occupied by helping out with the show. And
occupied? That's a dangerous word to be throwing around these days.
I guess so. Yeah, you're right. I could change that.
So your time has been occupied. Mm-hmm. No offense, you might say. You should probably just...
What is why is that offensive?
Well,
there's a lot of talk about occupation in the news these days. And we covered a little bit in world news today.
David, I'm confused on what you can and can't say nowadays. Can I be brutally honest with you?
Well, I'll tell you, when you're on stage, you could say anything.
That's what I do. I usually, yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm emailing David Collins.
Running out of time on this show today, but we do have a lot that we still need to get to because we received so many great emails on this show, and we want to make sure that I'm communicating with that great audience here. First, of course, though, we had a voicemail come in from great friend of the show, B-Dude. We haven't heard from him in a while, but you guys are all familiar with that call-in. Of course, maybe it'd be nice. Maybe one day we could do a get-together of some sort and fly B-Dude in.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That probably won't be in the near future, but that would be exciting if we could think about that in the future. Of course, we're going to be going to Boston and things. I could have talked about that too. Also, at the end of this week, I'm going to be appearing again on the Blind Mike Project, and I think plugging that competition and maybe talking about that trip to Boston.
Shout out to Blind Mike. Wow.
Of course, shout to Blind Mike. We're going to be excited to be on that show again at the end of the week. But why don't we take a little listen to that call-in from friend of the show, B-Dude.
Hey, David. B-Dude here, spreading the good vibes from Jamaica, man. Hope everything I read, brother. I just had to call in because I gotta say, I absolutely loved your last guest from Canada. Man, I didn't know half those things about Canada, and it opened me eyes. Big up to them for sharing their knowledge and culture with us. And speaking of spreading knowledge, I pulled off this hilarious April Fool's gag this month. I got to share it with you, bro. Let's just say I convinced my friends that I won the lottery and was treating them all to a luxury vacation. The looks on their faces when they found out it was all a prank, priceless. April Fool's is about spreading laughter. Am I right?
Right.
Anyway, gotta run. But keep up the amazing work with the show, David. You're killing it, man. Catch you later, me dude.
And thanks so much for that call-in, B-Dude. Always great to hear what's going on over there. What a great April Fool's prank.
That was a good gag.
Might have to write that down and save that for next year.
You better.
We're running out of time here in April. That's great. And if anybody else did some great April Fool's pranks this year, make sure you email me, dc30minutehalfhour@gmail.com. We had another email here from Dana this week. He didn't say where it was from. She wrote, I loved this week's Lily Battles. I thought this might be an exciting story for you to read on air, David. About 8 or 9 years ago, when I was pregnant with my second child, my mom just revealed to me this week that she had slept with my husband. What a betrayal, right? Well, now I have to divorce my husband. I've been enjoying your show, and it helps me get through the hard times. Keep it up. Thank you, Dana. Oh, that's nice.
That was a fun story.
What a betrayal.
Yeah.
Terrible. But that's good. You know, you always have to keep your spirits high, and maybe it's just a sign that you need to move on anyway.
So she's single then, huh?
Right. Dan, do you have any contact information? I'm sure you're looking to get out of that basement.
Yeah, I am.
Saying, yeah, I have a basement I can move into.
Yeah, I don't know. She's got to have enough money for both of us, though.
Sounds like you could move into her mom's basement and get a little action.
Oh, maybe I could.
Right.
We
got an email here from Matt O'Daniels. That was great. Thanks so much for emailing, Matt. David, I hope this email finds you and your loved ones safe and sound. Well, I promise I'm not reading these to my loved ones, but everybody in my audience can see those after the devastating tornadoes in Iowa. Good point. I also wanted to commend you on your contributions to WATP. Your commentary is not only quick and accurate, but also incredibly smart. It adds so much depth to the discussions, and I'm eagerly looking forward to hearing from you on the show. Seriously. Your insights are a big strength, and they make a real difference. Carl better recognize that you are the real deal. Stay safe and keep shining. Boy, this is long.
That was a timely email, too. They got it out.
Yeah. Emaw. P.S. Tell Jerry that I was in Burlington, Iowa for a few weeks back and forgot to send him my selfie with my Caitlin Clark jersey. LOLOL. Well, thanks so much for that email, Matt. I hope that we don't have to cut too much of that out of the show.
Yeah, that'd be a shame.
Well, it's just a long email there.
Yeah.
I guess we're just moving along here, but do you have any thoughts on that email?
I don't.
It was a little
wordy.
It was a little overly kind, I
Trim
would
the
say.
fat.
You know, I got to be concerned. You know, people are also emailing, and we don't often read those on the show, but people email the show and they say, hey, be careful. You know, there are a lot of trolls out there. And things of that nature, and I never know which one are the trolls and which ones aren't, but, you know, everybody's happy, in my eyes, I suppose, Email from the Great Sea Moose. Ahoy! The Great Sea Moose here. I'm reaching out to you to let you know that I am familiar with the song Hava Nagila. You're David Collins, and I've been the best. Well, thank you, the Great Sea Moose, for that email. Hava Nagila, of course, we did a fun song parody. That was great. And we were asking, hey, how many people know this song?
These are all really lovely emails.
Yeah, it's overwhelmingly positive responses here.
Lastly, Jerry thought it'd be a great idea this week. We've done this once before, but we like to do this occasionally to catch up on some of the great comments in our comment section. Here.
Oh, thank you.
Here, pick a couple of those there. Merch Mouse comments, more hack ride, always more hack ride.
I disagree.
What do you guys have there?
You disagree with that?
Yeah.
KTI Pip 4747 says enjoying the show.
Oh, that's nice.
Logan Day 3656 states, "Well, hello, David."
Well, hello.
All right, that's
and
a
finally,
good email, I
Chairman Meow 2413 supposes, I can't find you on X. Well, I'm definitely there. Thanks so much for that comment, though, Chairman Meow, and everybody else who commented.
Jerry picked those emails?
Do you guys get a lot of comments? Jerry does pick a lot of the... Well, the emails kind of come in. I have a lot of responsibility with picking the emails, but Jerry sends me the comments, and he thought it would be a good idea, and he kind of writes these notes for me and everything.
Those are a little uneventful.
Oh, the comments?
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of comments on your YouTube?
Yeah, they're usually fun.
Do you call them eventful?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
do you interact back and forth?
It depends.
Well, I'd love to hear more about your comments section there, of course, and I'd love to spend all day talking with my own commenters, too. But that sound does mean it's time for our last game, and boy, do I think this is going to be a difficult one. We picked it just out because I thought Carson would do pretty well on it. Of course, he's a teacher, and he reads a lot of books. Our second game and last game today, rudimentary required reading.
What?
So I'm going to read a passage from a book, and you're going to have to tell us what book that passage was from.
That's exciting.
Of course, it's rudimentary required reading, so it should have been something that you're very caught up on. Are you guys ready to play rudimentary required reading?
Let's give it a shot.
Let's go.
Perfect. Round 1. Life and death appeared to me ideal bounds, which I should first break through and pour a torrent of light into our dark world. A new species would bless me as its creator and source. Many happy and excellent natures would owe their being to me. No father could claim the gratitude of his child so completely as I should deserve theirs.
Huckleberry Finn.
Rudimentary required reading.
I was going to say, the places you'll go. But
Now,
that
is
can't
he
be right.
becoming a father? What is going on there? Many happy and excellent natures would owe their being to me. No father could claim the gratitude of his child so completely as I should deserve theirs. What do you think that book might be?
Huckleberry Finn.
Pinocchio. It was about a dad. Right?
Oh, Pinocchio's a good guess.
I'm sorry, Pinocchio does sound like a good guess because it is a similar plot line there. We are talking about Frankenstein.
Oh, you know what? Damn.
A father creating his son, much like Pinocchio.
I did
never
read
heard
that
of
book too
comparison.
back in the day.
That's interesting.
Frankenstein crossed my mind there. I should have just...
It's tough. Sometimes when you're asked a question, you say, hey, I must say this ad nauseum. I could have thought of this earlier, but right now I just can't think of that.
Of course.
Yep.
Round 2 of rudimentary required reading. She has been obliged by the scarcity of gentlemen to sit down for 2 dances, and during part of that time, he had been standing near enough for her to overhear a conversation between him and another gentleman who came from the dance for a few minutes to press his friend to join it.
Cinderella.
That book. Rudimentary required reading.
Catcher in the Rye?
Catcher in the Rye and Cinderella. Would you guys like to lock in those answers?
Lock them in
Sure.
for me, David.
I'm sorry. That was Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen.
Okay.
And we're just off the heels of Women's History Month. It's a great month to know that answer, but unfortunately not. I think Donnie would have known that. Donnie, a bit of a
disagree.
reader.
I consider myself a bit of a reader, but those are just,
Maybe you'll be better here in round 3.
I hope so, David.
Do you like this game?
Yes.
My least favorite of all the games you've done.
Well, that's
He
too
doesn't
bad.
like
Maybe we'll
books.
change your mind here with a good round 3.
Sure.
Round 3. And as for going as cook, though I confess there is considerable glory in that, a cook behind being a sort of officer on a shipboard, yet somehow I never fancied broiling fowls. Though once broiled, judiciously buttered and judgmatically salted and peppered, there is no one who will speak more respectfully, not to say reverently, of a broiled fowl than I will. It is out of the audiatrous dottings of an old Egyptian upon broiled ibis and roasted river horse that you see the mummies of those creatures in their huge bakehouses, the pyramids. Boy, what a difficult book that must be to read.
That's it. Yeah.
He's on a ship. He's cooking. He's a cook on a ship.
Moby Dick.
I was just gonna say Moby Dick.
Would you like to lock in those answers? A broiled ibis?
Let's tag team that
ibis
one.
is something, we're talking a little about Egypt there. Any guesses?
Right. That's what makes me think it's not Moby Dick. The Quran.
Would you like to lock those answers in?
No, Moby Dick.
It was
Nice
Moby
job.
Dick.
Yes,
there.
dude.
Well, that's great that you both ended up tying with only one correct at the end of this. We've been teasing this. We said, I tell people, I say, you've done so well on these games.
Right.
Maybe we'll have to bring you back on the show and compete with somebody else who's done so well on these games. You know who's done so well on these games? Austin Ingels.
Thank you for all those.
And we were teasing that for the longest time.
You were.
Do you feel that you may have let some people down today?
Probably.
Well,
I hope I didn't let you down, David.
I'll concede
No.
he got that last one for sure. He said it first.
And not at all, I know who let me down, but we've already made enough nonsense of it, and I think we could all just move on there. Did you have a good time? Do you guys have anything else you want to plug on the show? You do Austin before Austin, and soon you'll be Austin in Austin.
Certainly.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
On the
check out my
Austin Ingels
YouTube page. Yeah, subscribe to it. Go to my Instagram.
At Dangle Squat. Yeah, on everything, I suppose. Yeah. I play a lot of PlayStation, so pretty much on there.
Find him on PlayStation Network.
Yeah, Dangle Squat 2 T's.
Great. What a great episode. That's perfect. Everybody listening, I've been David Collins, and you've been the best.
David Collins. 30 minutes. Show with David Collins.